Valentine's Day is right around the corner, and guess who's got 2 thumbs and doesn't have a date? Guess who's got a microphone in one of his hands and doesn't have a... You know what? The moment's passed. I'm getting so tired of being alone on Valentine's Day. And it's not like I haven't been trying. I've been on Tinder all morning. I've swiped right 487 times, and I've only got 1 match. But unfortunately, she's a little... I don't want to be offensive. Porky? I've done everything I can do. Looks like it's just gonna be another Valentine's Day all alone. But you know what always cheers me up when I'm getting down like this? A good old-fashioned rom-com. And I think I have the perfect movie in mind. A little film called Love on a Leash. It's got everything. Romance, comedy, bestiality, and... mainly bestiality. Love on a Leash, a movie about a young virgin girl who falls in love with a dog. Yep. Fun fact, this movie was shot in 2007 but wasn't released until 2011. A whole 4 years of sitting on the shelf. Well, if that isn't the sign of a critically acclaimed work of art, then I don't know what is. Another fun fact, writer and director Fun Tian didn't speak any English when she wrote the script, so she wrote it in Chinese and then had it AI translated into English, which obviously caused some problems. During filming, actors would offer notes to make the dialogue sound more natural, but Fontian refused to change any of the script. That's the kind of movie that we're dealing with today. Now I'm gonna give you a fair warning here. This is genuinely the worst film that I've ever had the pleasure to see. Not top 10, not top 5, not even top 3. This is the worst. You know how people talk about movies being so bad that they're good? Well, this movie is so bad that it gave me ulcerative colitis. But before we get into watching the movie, I want to know what you're doing for Valentine's Day. Please tell me about it in the comments down below. Got any big date plans? Going and having a nice dinner with your partner, then coming home and embracing each other? Or are you getting high and playing Xbox all day and thinking about texting your ex? Because that's not what I'm doing.
Love on a Leash.
You want dog food?
Yeah, I'm a dog, genius.
So right off the bat, I have to mention that this movie is almost completely silent. There's no music, there's no sound effects, it's entirely dialogue, usually in the form of bad ADR.
There's no sound. We're just watching a golden retriever silently roll around in the grass. Celine Dion?
And I thought maybe they just forgot to add sound, or that it might have been some creative decision, but nope. What actually happened was that there was no official agreement between Fontian and the composer for the film, Peter Davison. Meaning, when it came time to put the movie out on streaming, they just removed all the extra audio to avoid any copyright issues.
Hey, lay off, man. I'm not gay.
Whoa! We're 1 minute and 35 seconds in! We're 1 minute and 35 seconds in. There's no sound. The first words out of the dog's mouth are a homophobic comment. What the f*** is going on?
So we start the movie with meeting our furry little protagonist, a golden retriever named Alvin Flang. In Alvin's past life, he was a man, a young playboy living a bachelor lifestyle with a different woman every night. And as a punishment for his womanizing behavior, he has been cursed to walk the streets as a dog for the rest of his life. Now you're lucky that I'm explaining this to you, because the movie just doesn't. I had to figure this out on my own. I had to use my brain. Do you know how hard that is for me? The actual movie just starts with a golden retriever running around a park looking to pick up ladies with little to no context. And by the way, buddy, I've been there before, but a park is not the best place to pick up chicks. Try something like a funeral home. Get them while they're emotionally distracted. Now, while the dog himself may not have the vocal abilities to produce speech, we do get his inner monologue through the most overblown blown, gain-heavy recording I've ever heard. By the way, the voice of the dog is provided by Stephen Kramer Glickman, who you might know as the manager from popular Nickelodeon show Big Time Rush. And sit down for a second, because I have some really fun facts about this guy's involvement in this movie. For starters, apparently the role was originally offered to comedian Ari Shaffir, who declined and recommended his friend and fellow comedian Steven. They then recorded all of Steven's lines in one sitting at the Comedy Store in West Hollywood on a cassette recorder with an external microphone, which might explain the terrible audio quality. The whole time during recording, Steven was under the impression that this was going to be a big-time animated project, not a low-budget live-action film. And to make matters even worse, Steven wasn't paid a single cent for providing his voice to the movie. The director had no money and instead compensated Steven with homemade wontons and 2 cantaloupes. That seems like a fair trade to me. Steven, reach out to me. Tell me how the wontons were. While recording his lines, Fantian didn't have a name for the dog, so she told Steven to just make one up on the spot as some sort of placeholder and they would fix it later. But Fantian never came up with a new name, so Alvin Flang stuck. How f***ing crazy is that? They had to improv the main character's name. And to end off the fun story of Steven's involvement in this film, he requested his name be taken off the movie entirely. During the 4 years that it took this piece of garbage to find a home, Steven had joined the Screen Actors Guild, meaning that he could not be a part of any non-union projects. The role of the dog's voice was a mystery for years until Steven finally admitted to it being him on Twitter. I could make an entire video just on this guy's involvement in this film. It's actually insane. So Alvin is having a conversation with the water. I don't know if it's some kind of like fairy or spirit, but he's just talking to the pond. And the water tells Alvin that he must find true love if he wants to break his canine curse. You know, a classic Princess and the Frog scenario. And that proposition leads him to finding Lisa, a lonely virgin who has been waiting her entire life to find the perfect guy.
God, please help me find a real man.
She's praying!
Lisa is sunbathing with her friend Paula in the park, and really? Bikinis in the park? Is that the appropriate attire? They usually kick me out when I try it. Lisa decides to take Alvin home and give him a good old-fashioned bath, and the ADR in this film is just atrocious. It should be a felony to produce audio this bad.
You're clean, now you can go.
God, the ADR in this is terrible.
She names her new furry friend Prince because he's just so perfect. Or because she's a fan of Purple Rain. I don't know, the movie didn't really say. Also, Lisa's entire house, her car, her wardrobe, everything is green. And I'm sure there's some kind of poetic reason for it, but it's just so distracting. Hell, even her bra and underwear are green. What kind of grown woman wears matching bra and underwear? We then go to Lisa's place of work, a good old-fashioned clothing store where she's refusing to sell a dress to a woman because it's not her size. Which isn't your job. Your job is to sell whatever the person wants to buy. I don't care if it's an extra small bluey shirt, you better sell it to her. Reminder, the movie doesn't really tell you what's going on, you're just supposed to figure it out. So I think Lisa has 2 managers at her work. There's Mark, who looks like a Billy Ray Cyrus clone on Ozempic, and then there's Kyle, her other manager, who asks her out on a date. Whoa, Kyle, you're not supposed to do that. That's a major imbalance of power. While Lisa is getting ready for her date, her mom calls her, and everything in this movie happens so fast. It's like it was edited by AI, and not even like cool modern AI, like AI from 5 years ago where everything looked like rotten blobs.
Mom, I can't talk.
You got a boyfriend.
No, it's just a date.
But what's he like?
Mom, I'm late.
Everything's happening so fast.
Lisa goes on her date with Kyle, or at least that's what I'm guessing is happening. Literally, it's like 2 shots of them eating dinner, if that's what we consider a date. And then the next day, Lisa takes Prince clothes shopping with her, which is the most annoying thing in the world. I love my dog. Love him. I'd die for the little fucker. But he's not going everywhere that I go. His ass is staying home when I leave.
I can't afford it. Unless you're buying.
I'd rather kill myself.
The dog's suicidal too. He just like me for real.
So at this clothing store, they just throw a bunch of stuff on the floor and go, hey, everything in this pile, 25% off. Grab what you can. What kind of store does that? That sounds chaotic as f***. Prince starts digging around the pile and finds matching clothes, which impresses this dog talent agent from across the store who wants to hire Prince because of his insane matching skills. But Lisa turns him down because she doesn't want her dog to be in the entertainment industry. I don't know. I'm literally like trying to translate hieroglyphics here. I don't know what the f***'s happening. Back at Lisa's work, her manager, not the one she went out on a date with, the other one, Mark, gets really handsy with her out of nowhere. You know, you really should establish these things at some point earlier on in the movie. You can't just go straight into physical harassment. Just give us anything. Creepy comments, a wink, something. Then we meet Rita, a friend of Lisa's mother, and possibly the most annoying character I've ever seen put to film. She's doing like this Bulgarian accent and keeps trying to set Lisa up with guys, and she's just so annoying. Literally anytime she was on screen, I was like, hey, I can make a video about something else. I can just go. I can turn this off. I can go. So Rita sets Lisa up with this guy named Frank, who still lives with his overbearing mom. Again, I don't know what's happening. By the way, we're 15 minutes into this movie.
My mother was a gynecologist, and she has a PhD in nutrition.
What does gynecology have to do with nutrition? Am I missing a through line here? Women in the comments, please. Don't talk to me.
Frank's mom wants Lisa to be a surrogate or something for Frank's genetically altered genius baby, a child that's going to be raised to be the president of the United States. You don't really need to be a genius to do that. Have you seen who's in office? But of course, this is a first date and we're talking about having children, so that freaks Lisa out and she just leaves. Lisa needs help deciding what to do, so she goes on a walk with her friend Paula, dressed like Cosmo and Wanda, by the way. Nice disguise, guys. Thought we wouldn't notice. So Lisa's like trying to decide between 2 guys that she obviously doesn't like, and Paula tells her that she shouldn't choose between 2 guys until she tries them on first, like a pair of shoes. Well, that's nice, huh? Then we get one of the craziest amalgamations of scenes I've ever seen put together.
The crickets are sounding. And that's, but it's,
Ugh,
but
I'm
she,
exhausted.
We should call the wambulance.
and it's now nighttime. Okay.
I feel sick. I feel like I'm having a stroke. And to add on to that, Lisa's mom gives her a call and said that she heard she's thinking about dating 2 guys at the same time, and she shouldn't do that. That's so immature. She should date 5 or 6 guys at the same time, just to really try them out. Also, Lisa has printed out Polaroids of Kyle and Frank. Where the hell did you get those? Why do you have those? You've been on one date with each of them? That's really creepy. So she's holding the 2 pictures, trying to decide what to do. And Prince, remember the dog? We can't forget, this isn't just your typical rom-com. We also have an anthropomorphic dog that's trying to f*** the white woman. Don't forget that. So she's holding the 2 pictures and trying to decide what to do, and Prince jumps up and eats the pictures and says that this tastes Japanesey.
Which one do you think?
How can you do that?
One of these tastes Japanesey.
I'll have some spinach.
The dog's racist!
So Kyle calls Lisa and asks why he hasn't been invited over to see her place since they've been dating for a while. have you been dating for a while? We got like a 2-second shot of you guys eating dinner together. If that's considered dating for a while, then I've had like 45 long-term relationships. So she invites Kyle over, but she needs to clean her apartment. So Paula comes over to help her, and then Paula starts flirting with the dog for some reason.
What a handsome dog. Such beautiful eyes.
You're welcome.
Like a good lover.
Don't be silly. Come on, let's do this.
Why would you ever say that?
So Kyle comes over that night and tells Lisa that he's actually a gay man and he only wants to be with Lisa so that his family will stop asking him questions about his sexuality.
I'm not attracted to any woman. All my relationships are with men.
You're...
Yes.
I'm Asian. I'm sorry. It's true. I didn't want you to find out like this.
Kyle then asks Lisa to marry him and goes on about how she'd be the perfect woman to be his wife and the future mother of his child. As if this isn't the most average blonde woman I've ever seen. What's so great about this girl? Lisa politely declines Kyle's offer and they break up. Oh, and if you thought that was bad, her other manager, Mark, randomly breaks into her apartment and tries to assault her. Why is everyone obsessed with this woman? Nothing against her personally. I just don't get it. Luckily, Prince comes to the rescue and fends off her attacker and then just starts singing, which seems a little inappropriate considering the circumstances.
Back off. She's mine. You will be a chihuahua.
You're fired!
I quit!
Now I'm the king of the castle. King of the castle!
This isn't the time for jokes.
Lisa is so depressed after this awful night that she decides that she's going to end her life by overdosing on pills. Well, they're obviously Mentos, but that's just as bad. Her breath is going to be so fresh.
No, not the Mentos. And she's gonna take him with water? Oh, that's gonna burn.
Prince goes and leads a stranger to the house so they can call 911. Why would you follow a random dog on the street? Don't you have better things to do with your life? Lisa then comes home from the hospital with no mention of the attempt on her own life. She notices that Prince is gone, so she goes looking for him and finds him alone in the park in the rain, and she runs and hugs him and says that she loves him, and then he turns into a man.
We'll live together forever.
Shebang!
What the f***?
So as a human, Prince pours his heart out to Sarah. Why do I say... Have I said Sarah this whole Her name's Lisa, like The Simpsons. So as a human, Prince pours his heart out to Lisa, telling her that he loves her and wants to marry her, and she just accepts without putting any thought into it. Are you sure you don't want to take at least 5 minutes? It's probably because he's so damn handsome. If he came out looking like big ol' Steven, she'd probably have a second thought.
Oh, he's got one of those gross toe thumbs. I'm sorry to anyone who has one of those gross toe thumbs. I don't mean to be offensive, but they are really gross. You should consider chopping it off.
Lisa and Prince then go back to her apartment to make sweet love, and I don't know what the direction was for this scene, but it's so awkward. She's acting like a nervous child, like giggling and like covering herself, and then he's acting like he's not even into her. It's just really weird overall. And then the next morning, Prince wakes up as a dog again, so he runs to the water, and the water tells him that he's only using her to get what he wants, and until it's true love, Prince can only be a man at night. When the sun goes down, he'll be a man, and when the sun comes up, he will be a dog. What the f*** am I doing with my life? So this seems like a good time to mention the deep well of cinematic tricks that director Valentine uses in her film. For starters, ducks. There are so many scenes of ducks just randomly used as transitions throughout this movie.
I'm so scared to wind up like whoever made this film. Like, these people probably think that they were making art. I don't know. What's with the ducks? Stop showing me the ducks! Dude, I'm gonna scream if I look at the same ducks again. There's another duck. Hey, there's another duck. Have we seen that duck yet? I feel like we haven't seen that one. Hey, where are those ducks? No ducks?
Second, Lisa cries in almost every scene in this movie. It's like the director found out that the actress could fake cry, so she wrote it into every scene.
Lisa, if you're angry, take it out on me, okay? Lisa.
Neither will Paula. I need you day and night now.
Lisa and Prince go to the park together, and they're both mad at each other for some reason, but we don't know why, because the smallest amount of writing is just impossible for this film.
Now there's a horse. What if that horse is a person? That horse is probably a person. Oh, that's racist. What's happening here? Kids, let's go watch the Blue Man dance in the park.
Prince goes down to the water and asks what else he has to do. He really does love Lisa, and the water says that he needs to provide for his wife by getting a job. As if he's not a fucking dog. But Prince finds the perfect job for a dog. He decides he wants to go work for the dog talent agency, but Lisa says no because he's her husband and not some kind of animal. Except he is an animal. At least 50% of the time, he's an animal. But then Prince goes behind Lisa's back and finds the dog talent agent's number in the loudest fucking drawer I've ever heard. So the boss at the dog talent agency is coincidentally the same woman that Lisa wouldn't sell the dress to earlier because we couldn't afford more than 5 actors.
Listen, mister, you better find me that dog. Or else.
Or else I'm gonna do that again.
So the boss at the talent agency wants to find the most talented dog in the world, so Prince shows up and does like 2 tricks and gets the job. I wouldn't necessarily call that the most talented dog in the world. My dog is way more talented than that. My dog knows slurs. I didn't teach him though. I promise I didn't teach him.
I'm late for work. What are you doing?
You're gonna have to get out.
Why do you need to get dressed up?
I got lipstick.
What the f just was that a dog penis joke?
So Lisa finds out that Prince got the job behind her back and it pisses her off. But then they just have sex and I think it's okay. We literally never hear about it again.
Sex police, open up.
And then Paula comes over and discovers Lisa sleeping with Prince, which makes her feel betrayed and that she's been lied to because she thought Lisa was the perfect virgin girl, but here she is sleeping with a stranger, so that just must make her a common 2-bit whore. Paula freaks out and says she never wants to see Lisa again and storms off, and then Lisa cries. This movie could be boiled down to minor conflict, Lisa cries, silence, duck transition, the last 5 minutes of the movie never happened. So Rita, the fake Bulgarian woman, surprises Lisa by bringing her mom to visit, and again, I can't stand this character. If this was in a well-written movie, I'd think it was intentional, but it's not in a well-written movie, so it's just bad. Lisa, her mom, and Rita go out to dinner together, and Rita pays a bunch of guys to dance with Lisa, hoping that Lisa will get one of their numbers. Because why? I don't know why. Lisa runs out crying and her mom says that it was her idea. She just wants Lisa to find a good guy before she dies because that's how you do it. You pay a bunch of strangers to pretend to be attracted to your daughter. That's how she'll find the right guy. But then Lisa tells them that she is dating a guy and that she wants them all to meet. So the next night they go out to dinner together and this scene is set up so strangely. Like Like, they have a little bit of conversation, and then they all eat at the same time. And I mean at the same time. It's literally synchronized. It just looks so phony as opposed to what a real dinner conversation would be like. You eat and talk at the same time. I know it's rude, but we're all just a bunch of rude chimpanzees at the end of the day, if you think about it. And then out of nowhere, the mom says, well, if you really love my daughter, then we'll go down to the courthouse first thing in the morning and make this marriage official. But of course, they can't do that because Prince will turn into a dog. So Rita shows up to Lisa's house unannounced and makes an excuse for Lisa to leave so she can go snooping around getting dirt on her new man. Prince catches her, and Rita even says to Prince, why is a handsome guy like you with Lisa? Like, goddamn, way to have faith in your family. Then Rita goes to Lisa's work and tells Lisa that she told Prince to stay out of her life forever because that's her job, right? That's her business, you know? And then Lisa tells Rita that no, you need to stay out of my life. And then Rita says, okay, but if I'm not in your life, then neither is your mom, because that makes perfect sense. God, this movie sucks so bad. I finished this movie and I was like, how am I gonna make a video out of this? How am I gonna make it's like trying to make sense out of f***ing alphabet soup. So the next day, Lisa meets a mom at the playground who's playing with her children, and Lisa asks the mom, what's the secret to having such great kids? And the mom says, awesome sex? Who the f*** is having conversations like this in real life? Oh, why thank you. Yes, my kids are very well behaved. You know what the secret is? Riding their dad's dick until it was dry. Lisa starts talking about wanting to have kids, and Prince freaks out saying that he can't have kids. What if they're like him? Half dog, half human. Lisa cries, and then we move on and we never hear about it again. Just like every conflict in this movie.
She's gonna cry. Dude, this movie is just scenes of her crying. It's just different reasons to make her cry. And then silence. And then ducks. God damn it! What do the ducks have to do with any of this? It's nighttime now. It's nighttime again. Get your fucking feet off the pillows, you disgusting animals. I need to calm down. And then the next day, Lisa wants Prince to go out on a lunch date with her and her boss. But I know what you're saying. Prince can't go out during the day or he'll turn into a dog. Well, actually, it's not the time of day that matters at all. It's the sun. As long as the sun doesn't come out, Prince stays as a man. So if it's a cloudy day, Prince can go to lunch without the fear of turning into a dog. The movie is dropping new lore. We're like an hour and 15 minutes in, and then suddenly the movie's like, well, actually, and they don't discover this. There's not a scene where the sun's coming up and Prince is like, oh no, I'm gonna turn into a dog, and then it's fine because the sun didn't touch his skin. There's not that scene. All of a sudden, they're just like, well, Prince, you know, if the sun doesn't come out, then you stay as a human. Ooh, they should make it illegal to make films without going to school. That's what they should do. You should have to have a license to buy a film camera and release a film. And another thing about this whole sun scenario, couldn't you just carry an umbrella everywhere you go? Or couldn't you go like full Invisible Man and bandage yourself up? Just tell everyone that he's a burn victim? There are ways around this. Also, one of the only remarkable things about this movie, when they're talking, one of them starts having acid reflux. And that's very funny.
Please help me reach my goal.
I just heard someone's acid reflux. Listen, I have it too. I get it, but you need to cut that out. Turn the gain down on the microphone. That might help.
So at the lunch, Lisa's boss is sad because neither of his kids want to go into the family business. We don't know what the family business is. There's no mention of it, but it doesn't matter.
Dad, I'm a medical doctor.
I want to be a movie star.
Well, you're not gonna do it in this film, buckaroo. You better run, because this right here will tank your career.
So her boss is looking for an heir to the throne of the family business. And it's gonna be Lisa, the girl he hired Literally a week ago. But of course, right as things are going good, the sun comes out. Because it's the sun, and that's what the sun does. So Prince turns into a dog and then jumps in the pool for some reason, and I just really hope that this dog was properly trained and cared for and loved. Just something about it makes me really nervous. This poor guy was probably like, yeah, I'm gonna be in the next Air Bud movie. What's it called? Love on a Leash?
You know, I feel like this wouldn't be that awkward to just tell people, yeah, my husband has a medical condition where he can turn into a dog. We're a pretty accepting culture when you think about it. I think, hey, if we can get past gay marriage... I'm not gonna finish that thought.
So Prince feels bad for ruining Lisa's big dinner, so he decides to run away. God, I hate when my dog does that, and it's double bad for Lisa, because not only are you losing your dog, but you're losing your husband. That's a double whammy, a little bit of a twofer, if you will. He then goes and talks to the water again, who tells him to never give up on love, because love is all about sacrifice. I thought love was about love, but God, what do I know? I've been single for at least 7 years now.
Hey, she's the one with the problems.
Oh, is she? She's the one with the problems. You turn into a dog when the sun comes up.
Prince starts to regret his decision and runs back to Lisa, but doesn't look both ways before crossing the street.
I'm back, Lisa. I'm back.
No! No! Oh my God!
I really love you, honey.
That's right, Prince is dead, and Rita and Lisa's mom try to convince Lisa to move on from him, but she just keeps saying, no, he'll come back. I know he'll come back. Did we watch the same thing? He just got flapjacked by a fucking car. I don't think he's coming back. We then flash forward years later. The movie says years later, and I was thinking like 2, maybe 3 years. No, it's like fucking 30 years. Lisa has gray hair, and Paula has grandkids. Not kids, grandkids. So Lisa and Paula are going through like photos of Prince, and there's this really funny beat. I don't know if it was on purpose. Probably not, because this movie's incompetent. But they're like looking at wedding photos, and then they jump to dog photos, and I just really lost my mind remembering like, oh yeah, she was in love with a dog, and again 30 years ago.
Instead of asking him to be
Lisa puts her apartment up for rent, and someone comes to check it out, and wouldn't you know it, it's Prince. Apparently when he was hit by that car, he was reborn as a full human, 100% man, but he remembers his past life because he immediately walks in and goes, Lisa, I remember you. I just don't know. That was silent but wet. So after 30 years, their love has been rekindled. They hug, they embrace, they kiss, and then Prince goes gray too, turning old. What the I don't know what's happening. I'm so lost. And then that's it. That's how the movie ends.
So now they're both old. Did anything get resolved in this movie? I don't feel like there was any kind of character arc. I don't feel like anyone grew. I don't feel like anyone, like, you have to try to not make, you have to, and it's over. It's over. And the recommended movie is The Amazing Bulk.
And that's it. That's the end for Love on a Leash. Genuinely, I wasn't lying at the beginning of this video. The worst movie I've ever seen. It takes the cake. Worst of all time. I have no idea how something like this is possible. I could give my 7-year-old nephew a Canon camcorder and a pirated version of Premiere Pro, and he could crap out something more competent than this. It probably doesn't help that the night before I watched this, I watched Grand Budapest Hotel. I mean, talk about a whiplash. Wes Anderson's magnum opus, a masterpiece in filmmaking and cinematography, and then this unintelligible garbage starring meth-faced Anna Faris. While watching this movie, I kept referring to Lisa as a meth-faced Anna Faris just to myself because she has these like giant scabs on her face, and I genuinely thought that she was an actual meth head. Until I found out that the scabs were makeup added to Lisa's face to illustrate her virginity. What do meth scabs have to do with virginity? I feel like I've busted a blood vessel in my brain. I can't stress enough how terrible this film is. It's all around bad. It's bad writing, bad directing, bad editing. This movie is completely, totally, and utterly irredeemable. Except for something interesting that I found out while doing a little bit of research. So apparently, the two lead actors, Jaina Camp and Anise Kamo, met on the set of this film and became infatuated with each other. They ended up falling in love and even ended up getting married. They both left acting shortly after this film and started a family together. A family was started because of this hot steaming pile of garbage. If Fan Tian hadn't written this half-assed script in Chinese and then AI translated it into English and then came to America and lied her way into getting it made, then these two probably never would have met each other. They never would have fallen in love. They never would have got married. They never would have started a family if it wasn't for Love on a Leash. And that's pretty cool in my opinion. And I think that's about all I have to say. So if you stuck around to the end of this video, then thank you. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart, it means more than you'll ever know. Drop a like if you'd like. Comment your favorite part of this movie down below and subscribe for more silly movie reviews. Hopefully, when I'm not so under the weather. And through it all, I think I actually learned something from this movie. Love is out there for everyone. You just never know where you'll find it. There is someone out there for everyone. Unless you f*** dogs, then most people probably aren't going to be a fan of yours. Yeah, love can be hard, guys. Let me tell you, I know. I've been begging like the Trix rabbit for the past 4 years for just a modicum of minge. But you gotta have faith, man. You just gotta keep your head up. If your weird Uncle Larry with the mole on his nose can get laid, then you can too.